Hey guys! So I know that I am not there with you today or tomorrow. So I just wanted to give you a quick little video about kind of what you're going to be doing for the next 2 days. Our focus is going to be on fractions, and the reason why you're going to be working on it without me there is because this is the standard we did the best on. Okay? So that I know that you can do it. So this is where you're going to practice. Okay? And you're going to work together. And we're going to focus on what is a fraction, what's the numerator, the denominator. We're going to be focusing on equivalent fractions and looking at it in all different shapes and sorts. And then we're also going to be doing comparing fractions. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so what we're going to go over first is what is a fraction. Okay? So, remember, a fraction is part of a whole. Part of a whole, and there are two parts to our fraction. We're going to have our numerator, which say will make a 3, and a denominator, which will make 6. Okay? So, what is our numerator? Is anybody raising their hands while I'm doing this? Okay. So, our numerator is the number of pieces that we are specifically talking about. Okay? So, our number of pieces. Okay? Then we need to go over our denominator. Now, the denominator tells us, hopefully you're raising your hand. Denominator, we all know Miss Wagner has trouble spelling denominator. So our denominator, yes, if you are thinking that it is the number of pieces that we're partitioning into the whole, you are correct. So your number of parts in the whole. Okay? So, for example, if I were to make one of my fraction bars, right? Here is our beautiful fraction bars that we're so good at making. We're going to partition it into 6 because our denominator will tell us how many parts there are in that whole. So remember, when we have 6, you split it down the middle. You take your first half and you eyeball it into thirds. Take your second half and eyeball that into thirds. Then our numerator wants to know how many pieces we're talking about. So for example, we are going to either color in our 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and think of it like a candy bar. You have your big Hershey's chocolate bar, we're splitting it into 6 pieces, and I'm eating 3 of those pieces. Okay, next we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions. So most of you do really well with this. There are 3 strategies that we use. Who can name our 3 strategies? Okay, if you said our fraction bars, then you are correct. So we have fraction bars. We also have our number line. And then we also have our algorithm. Okay? So all 3 of those are going to help us when trying to find equivalent fractions. Now, what does it mean for fractions to be equivalent? Now, if you look, there's kind of a hint in here. If you look at the beginning, you kind of see the word equal. So what that means is that it's the same amount or the equal number of pieces. Okay? So that is fraction bars. Now don't forget to look at the anchor charts that are hanging on the wall. You only have those for a few more days, so definitely use them. So if we are trying to find equivalent fractions and we want to know if 3/6 is equivalent to how many halves, right? So if we were to use our fraction bar method, you're going to do 2 fraction bars. So we have our 6. I'm going to do this quickly because most of you already know how to do this. You're going to color in 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to split it in half because we have 3/6 and 1/2. Okay? Oopsies, I just gave you the answer. I'm sorry. So how many halves or how many halves equal 3/6? Well, it would be 1. And remember, we would say when they line up correctly, that one is just right. So there we proved it with our fraction bars that 3/6 is equal to 1/2. Now if we go over to our number line, you're going to create two number lines from a scale from 0 to 1. Two number lines, 0 through 1. Okay? And then you're going to split your top number line into sixths. Split it down the middle into thirds. Okay? So double check your bumps just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Then we're going to label each line. If that first line is 0, this line will be 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, and 6 6, which is also equal to 1 whole. Okay? So we're going to put our little dot on 3 6, and then I have to split my second number line up into halves. So we just have like that. You can count your bumps. 1, 2, label it 0, then you have 1 half, and then 2 halves, which is also equal to 1 whole. And then where is 3 6 lines up with? Bring the line straight down. Boom, 1 half. Once again, two different strategies, same answer. Now I'm going to try and squeeze the algorithm in over here on the right. Okay? So with the algorithm, we are going to have our 3 6 is equal to our, let me fix that. Okay. So we're going to have 3 6 is equal to blank halves, right? Now, if you look at your denominators, you are going from a big number to a small number. So if we are doing that, then we definitely need to divide. 6 divided by what gives us 2? Now, if you roll your 2's, or count by 2's, until you get to 6, you'll have 2, 4, 6. You should have 3 fingers up. So then 6 divided by 3 is 2. Whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So what is 3 divided by 3, which is 1? So there you have it. We did equivalent fractions with 3 different strategies, and guess what? We got the same answer every time. So that makes us a super genius. Okay, now I want to go over a problem like this with you. If you recognize it, you should, because it was also one of your test questions, okay? And the EOGs are going to try and trick you. They want to see who is paying attention. So for instance, when you have a question like this and it says, what fraction of the rectangle is shaded? Okay, cover your answers, without even looking, what fraction of this part is shaded? Well, if you look, your numerator is going to be 2, because there's 2 pieces shaded. Out of how many total pieces are shaded, which is your denominator, is 6. Okay, so most of you get to this step, and then you look at your answers, and you're like, Miss Wagner, the answer is not there. Okay, when they give you a question like this, this is where you're trying to find a fraction that is also equal to 2 6. So what you have to do is use your strategy in order to figure this one out. Okay, so you would do 2 6, right? I would use my fraction bars. So we're going to start off with 2 6. Okay, if you want to do number line, that's fine. You want to do the algorithm, that's fine. You guys already know how to do this. Sometimes we just need a little refresher. Okay, so we have our 6 pieces. You're going to color in 1 2. Then we're going to do 1 6. Oh, look, this top fraction bar is in 6, so I'm just going to bring my line straight down. 1 6, and 1 6 we would say is too small. So 1 6 cannot be our answer. Now let's try 1/3. Okay, we have 1/3. Oh, look at this. 2 6 in 1/3, right? What would we say? It is just right. So what this is telling you is that 2 6 is also the same thing as saying 1/3. Now, look at C, guys. Ms. Wagner has not taught you where your numerator is bigger than your denominator. So guess what? If I haven't taught it to you yet, that's an automatic cross out. You know that's not the answer, okay? So just remember, when you see something like this, and you know it might look a little different than the strategy that you're used to using, turn it into the strategy that works best for you, okay? You are correct. The shaded shape is 2 6, but that they're not looking for that specific answer. They want to find an answer that is equivalent. So whether they give you circles, rectangles, triangles, any way they partition something, you always want to make sure that If that answer is not specifically there, that exact answer, then they want to find the equivalent fraction. Okay, my friends, now the rest is up to you. I know it looks like a big packet, but it's pretty simple. There's only about 5 questions on each page, and I gave you it all because I know that you can do it. So make sure you try your best. You know what happens when those papers are blank and I get to see them, right? So now you had that quick little video, and look, I was kind of there with you. So I want you to do your absolute best, and I will leave you another video for tomorrow. Good luck.